All right, welcome everyone to the newest episode of Welcome to the Winner Circle, and I'm really excited for today's guest. He's a repeat guest. I've had him a couple months ago, and we have more to talk about, especially for this exciting new first episode of 2021. So on this week's episode, I interview a master of transformation who uses unconventional diet and training methodologies to ensure extended health and performance in himself and in his clients. A former professional bodybuilder turned DJ at the famed Studio 54 in New York City, to an obese 30-something casino manager in Las Vegas who in 1998, at age 34, restarted his mission to become the healthiest person he could be, and is now a role model, fitness coach, experienced Muay Thai fighter, business owner, father, and husband in his 50s, with countless fitness certifications and programs, as well as an education in nutritional sciences. Welcome to the Winner Circle, Shawn Powers. Welcome back.
Hey, how you doing, man? Today is the day it all happens. I'm going to start off with, let's flip the script. That's going to be kind of the way that we're going to do this. Let's flip the script. So if you're anywhere in life that you don't want to be, turn on a dime and let's flip it today. And hopefully that the message that I have to give and the questions that you ask me will answer a lot of things for people that are looking to start in the new year or even start today, which I hope people do.
Absolutely. There's no better time to start than the now. We don't have to wait for the New Year's. The New Year's could be every day for us, where we have a fresh new page where we can begin writing a new chapter.
Yep.
So totally it's been a couple of months since we last talked. In the last episode, if people haven't listened to it, I suggest you go back, check it out. Episode 23. We talk about your mission. We talk about your journey to where you are today. And wow, what a journey it has been. A lot of discussion about nutrition, whole foods, quality over quantity, inflammation, relationships, and so many other gems of wisdom on your path. Since that podcast episode, how are things? What is new in the life of Shawn Powers?
Well, things are going good. I know that everybody's experiencing some type of lockdown or some type of situation because of the COVID crisis that we're living in. But you know what? Again, we can flip the script. We can use this time to make ourselves better. We could either look at something and say, oh my God, it's going to take forever. Or we can say, you know what? God has just given me a little bit more time to get ready. And when this thing ends, I'm going to come out like a monster, a beast, just healthier than I've ever been. And I'm ready to hit the ground running. So I've kind of, over the last couple months, I've had a few, deaths in my family. And, but here we go. I've learned something from that. One of the deaths was my father. And I was able to speak with him a week before he died. Okay. So he's had cancer for the last 5 years. And he started slipping in and out of consciousness. And I had been caretaking for him throughout the year. So I was traveling back and forth between two states to take care of him. So my training kind of tanked a little bit because here I'm with him, which is I felt was more important than going to the gym. So how do you be successful with that? Like our first podcast, you really have to maintain a good diet. I mean, people were coming over, people were offering a lot of candies and junk foods and all this, but you know what? I stuck to my guns, and you know what? I really had to prove to everybody that, you know what? I am who I am, and this is the way it's going to go down, and I'm here for my father, not for myself, right? I'm not superficial like that. So the last week, I get there and I take all my kids, and he kind of talked to each and every one of them and gave him his wisdom. He knew that he was passing away. He kept telling me that, every day I'm just a blessing that I'm still here because I have a feeling I might not be here tomorrow. Okay. So he gets to me and he asks me, he's all, so what have you been up to? And I said, well, I've been doing this and doing that. And he's like, well, get into more detail. And he kept going on and on and on. And it felt like 1,000,001 questions. And I said, okay, wait a minute. Why do you need to know these things right now? There's more important things to know. And he says, you know what, son? He's all, I'm going to take this to our ancestors and I'm going to let them know who you are and the honor that you're bringing the family. And I was like, whoa, I never even thought of it that way. So here I am, whatever I've been able to try to accomplish, he's going to take to people, wherever, whoever, but that's bringing a sense of pride to him. That's bringing a sense of pride to me. That's bringing a sense of pride to my family. And in the interim, it's helping people out, which is what I like doing. So he, went on and he started talking about his life and everything else. But the only thing that he took out of that was just be successful at what you want. It doesn't matter what it is. Give it your all, do it, have passion for it, and love and live life like you're not going to be here tomorrow. So I was really taken back by that. And I was really glad that I got to experience that. I was there for his last breath, and it was kind of funny, sad, cheery, not so cheery, because he had been suffering for so long. And when he had finally passed, it was during the World Series, the Dodgers World Series. And he was in California. And during that time, they were so busy, the coroner's office was so busy with everything else that he passed away at noon, excuse me, and they weren't able to get there just with the nurse to pronounce he was dead until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I wasn't about to leave him. So I'm right there. We were watching the game when he took his last breath. And I'm there sitting next to my father who's just passed away. And I'm watching the game and I'm just kind of like, okay, what do? I don't want to leave him. I don't want to touch him. I don't want to move anything. So they finally get there. And at 8:30, 9 o'clock that night, the coroner finally reached the house to take him away. So when they showed up, and this is the honorary part of this, when they showed up, there was a man and a woman. My dad was a pretty big guy. So there was no way that the woman was going to be able to carry him down in the stretcher. So I got the opportunity and the honor to be the one that took him to the hearse and put him in the coroner's van or whatever. And that was like the final goodbye. I had the final conversation. It ended on a good note, and it was the final goodbye. And that's the happy part of it, because he said what he had to say. I said what I had to say. We, said we loved each other, went to sleep, and he never woke up. So it was a good feeling that, he was able to move on, I felt, to his next journey without any holding back. Not, I'm going to stick around and see what Shawn does because I know he's not going to do this and do that. No, he actually said that he's proud of me and he's proud of what I've done, and he knows that he's leaving me in good hands. You're now the leader of the clan. Kind of passed the ring on to me. And that was in front of my kids. So that was a real good experience. And it was a learning experience. You talk to the dying, they will give you a different perspective of what's important. And it's the simple things: love, 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 and love and caring. And that's what I took away from it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss,
Yeah.
but I think was a beautiful way to end things for
Oh,
both
yeah.
him and yourself.
Yes, it was.
Another thing that I know that happened during the few months since we last connected is you've created a new group called Bone Athletics. What is that?
Oh,
Tell us about that.
Bone Frog Athletics.
Bone Frog Athletics.
Bone Frog Athletics is about kind of based off of the Navy SEAL principles, where you're going to do something right, you're going to do something for the betterment of yourself, and you're going to come out a winner. Okay. So in saying that, this group is going to be based off of a challenge that I've given myself for next year. My New Year's resolution when it comes to fitness. Okay. Bettering yourself. How are you going to do that? Be uncomfortable, open your mind, take new challenges, and see where you can take them. You become from point A, and then in the ending, now you're at point B. Okay. So that's kind of where you want to be. You want to walk in and say, hey, I'm this guy, and walk out and say, you know what? Now I'm this guy. Right. So these challenges, I figured, all right, I'm going to put my bros to a test. Right. I'm going to put John Wolf and On at Six, all of them to attest. Uh, Juan and Eric Leja, they have Primal Fitness and they have Unconventional Athlete. They have their training program. Maurizio Tangieri, he has his training program. And I'm basically going to go down the line of these guys and challenge every single one of their programs, one after the other. I'm going to write down what I do. I'm going to write down what I ate. I'm going to write down how I supplemented, how I felt. Did it do exactly what they said I was going to do? I'm going to be a testament to the bad or the good of whatever their program offers, because I'm excited, because I enjoy these guys and I want to live them and see who Eric is, see who John Wolf is, see who Juan Leja is. I see these beautiful pictures. I've worked with them, but I haven't been them. And I think that when people offer their training, they're offering themselves and saying, you can be like me. I challenge you to do this. So I'm going to be doing that on my page, on my group or my page. And I really want to invite everybody to come in and take the challenges with me, or read about what I'm doing, or read about whatever somebody else is doing, and kind of take from it. Maybe you have some good input, maybe you walk away with something, but at least we walk away smarter and better at something.
Mm-hmm. That's an exciting group, and that's going to be hosted on Facebook, correct?
Facebook, yes. So you could just look it up, Bone Frog Athletics, and then I'm the only member right now, but you know what? You can sign up because I just created it the other day. But you can sign up because I knew we were going to do this. So you can sign up and you can do this along with me.
And this episode will be released as the first one of 2021. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get you back on for a follow-up conversation.
Yeah.
Because you've been involved in the fitness and wellness industry for so long and helped many people and yourself with New Year's resolutions, which we say we can start again. We can start our resolution to change immediately, whenever, always. But the New Year's Day is the day that the first day of the year, January 1st, is a day that is easy for people to set goals. So let's get into that. Talk to us all about what you've learned about New Year's resolutions, setting them, maintaining them, sustaining them, and continuing our evolution here on this planet.
Okay, let me read something for you that will kind of open this up. Okay, I just wrote this, and it reads, success is a combination of many failures, and it's always seen as a negative, but it's actually a positive thing. If you don't quite get that, then you never grow from that. The difference between a champion and failure isn't because one greater than the other. They both have failed, except the champion gets back up and learns from what that previous mistake was. That's progression. That's growth. That's living. That's as good as it gets. Example, nobody's ever counted how many breaths you take. I mean, nobody. Taking breaths isn't what counts. It's about how many times your breath's been taken away. Don't get so caught up in the process that you fail and not learn. Enjoy the successes that you've attained. That's the growth factor. Let your mind take those wins and parlay them on a global scale. Winning is a combination of failures you've learned from, okay? That is a New Year's resolution base, because a lot of people come out of the gate and say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to eat this. And they really challenge themselves to about 20 different things all at once. And come the week, they start slowing down a little bit. 2 weeks into it, they start looking at food and they're getting hungry for the stuff they shouldn't eat, or they may be too sore and they miss a workout, and before you know it, it tumbles into, okay, maybe next year. We don't want that to happen, right? We want to look at it as, okay, maybe I took on too much at one time. Maybe I should take it step by step. How about let's take it 24 hours at a time. Let's see what I can accomplish in 24 hours, okay? If I can do that, I can accomplish it the next 24 hours. So you want to kind of combination things according to where you're at. Okay, we're all going to have cravings. If we haven't worked out before, we're all going to be sore, right? We're going to be tired. Some of us, take New Year's Eve to the extent of you wake up the next day hungover. So January 1st is already blown. Like recovery from a hangover is usually what happens on New Year's Day. So here we go. There's the mental failure. We want to take that away. Okay. We want to take that away. So let's say that somebody, wakes up tired or hungover or whatever. Okay. Challenge yourself that day and say, you know what, today I'm going to drink half of my weight in ounces of water. I weigh 200 pounds. So that means I would drink 100 ounces of water. That would be, let's see if I can get this in there. That would be 16.9 ounces of water a day. I wake up that day and pound one. All right, I got 5 left. Boom, boom, boom. At the end of the day, you actually drank 6 and you're like, man, you know what? Okay, I accomplished something. Okay. A New Year's resolution is throughout the whole year. Okay. People want to give themselves a timeline. Okay, in 8 weeks, I'm going to drop 60 pounds or 30 pounds or whatever it may be. Yeah, I mean, it's done. But what do you do again on week 9? Do you continue it or do you lax a little bit and say, wow, I lost 30 pounds. I can eat a little bit of this and eat a little bit of that. And before you know, you're tumbling back into that failure into your head, like, screw it. I'm already blown it. So why not? You know? So we want to make sure that we try to take it in 24-hour increments in the beginning. Now, there's advanced levels, right? People already, man, I'm going to hit the gate running. And if you're an advanced level, you want to break up your training or your things weekly, bi-weekly, every 6 weeks. That's why I love that on at 6, because it's 6 weeks, 45 days. After 45 days, you have another 45-day challenge. Maybe it's to do a little bit better than you did the last 45 days. Or maybe it's a brand new one, which I'm going to endeavor, right? So it's just taking chunks and chunks and chunks and chunks over time. Before you know it, you're 6, 7, 8 months into the year and you've been able to be successful overall. Maybe not everything's a win. Maybe you've kind of failed somewhere here and there, but you know what? It's not about, like I wrote, it's not about that taking a breath. It's about how many times your breath can be taken away. Okay. And that happens every so often, right? So we got to look at our small wins and keep going off of those. Play it, put it in our head, get that mental ecstasy, that feeling of, oh my God, I'm awesome. And parlay that and continue that into the next day. If you fail the next day, okay, go back to at least drinking water. That way you're not a complete failure in your head. You've accomplished drinking the half a weight of your body in water. I've at least accomplished this, so I'm not at a full loss. I don't have to quit. I still got my foot in the door. I still got my skin in the game. And this is how we start building blocks into years, right? Not just new year, but years after. That's how I did it, step by step by step by step. So when I started the New Year resolution, I did it and I was successful at some point. I failed a lot. I was successful at one point, and then I said to myself, well, shit, you know what? How about if I start it, September? That way, when New Year's comes, I'm already that much better. And then when springtime comes, when I'm able to put on a bathing suit, I'm even that much better. So I took the onus off of, I have to do this right now. And this is the only thing I got to do for the whole entire year. And if not, oh, I'm screwed. No, take your mind out of that. Relax it. It's about daily wins over a period of weeks and months. It's just the little things. You got to keep your head positive. Like COVID, I could sit here and mope around and, man, I lost a lot of my friends and family, and man, things are never going to get better. That's not going to get me to where I need to go. You got to look at it as, hey, all right, I woke up today. I'm feeling good. I didn't catch it. You know what? All right, what am I going to do? I have the opportunity to make myself better today where other people don't. I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to continue that. And then you continue the process and continue the process. I just think that people put too much onus on the word New Year resolution. And that is scary to a lot of people. A lot of people have commitment fears, right? And they're like, oh, okay, you actually have to love what you do. That's what I'm saying. If you walk away with a win every day, maybe two, maybe four, maybe five wins, you're going to love that process because you really kicked ass. You did it yourself. Nobody pushed you. Nobody, laid you on the bed and had a bong in your mouth and put water in there and said, you're going to swallow this gallon of water, your 100 ounces. No, you did it yourself. So you have it in you. And that's how you play off of that mentality. Yeah, I got it in me. I did it. What's next? What's my next challenge?
Mm-hmm. And one thing that stops people from doing that is belief. Some people start a New Year's resolutions and they're already defeat before they even started because they're not going in with the belief that they can, or the
Mm-hmm.
love for that thing that they have committed to, or even the love for
Yes.
themselves. How can we
Right.
strengthen one's belief?
Well, this is where I was talking about you bit off more than you can chew, right? You got to start with the small. Sure, losing weight, let's put it in that context. Losing weight is great, but there's certain things you have to do in order to lose weight. It's just not one thing. It's a bunch of everything. It's, like you said, how you think, how you look at food, how you work out, how much water you drink, how much sleep did you get? What kind of supplements are you taking? So you try to, break off each and every one of those on paper and you check them off as you go. I drink
Mm-hmm.
water. I ate my breakfast at this time. Okay. Oh, I actually hit a 30-minute workout or a 40-minute workout. I got to go to class today. I got to do this. And you check them off. And at the end of the day, you see the tally of everything total. And you could be paid off. If you owe that to yourself every day and you check everything off, there's no debt. You can go to sleep that night as a winner, as a champion.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to the clients that say, I don't have enough time?
Mhm. Well, yeah, everybody has the same 24 hours. And I understand that there's people that have kids and there's people that have, jobs, and I'm busy too. Okay. I was busy. I was working 80 hours a week. But if you can find 20 minutes in the morning, in the shower, every time this is what I do is, okay, just to kind of give yourself a little time throughout the day. Okay. It doesn't need to be 20 minutes all around. Every time I go into the restroom, I'll do 20 air squats, right? Or every time I could take the elevator, I'll take the stairs. Or instead of parking up front real close, I'll park a little further away so I have to walk a little way. You're all burning calories, right? You're getting some type of physical activity in. And you work it that way. While you're sitting down, while you're cooking, you could be doing this, you could be doing that. There's a lot of creative ways you can get 20 minutes to 30 minutes in throughout the entire day. I know it's not as beautiful as getting 1 hour in and man, you're walking out drenched in sweat and all that, but over a period of time, you know what? You're going to do more than you did if you didn't do anything. And those extra
Mm-hmm.
calories that you're burning are going to help you drop weight. Maybe it's not as quick as you want, but there will be a day that you're going to have a day off that you can. Not everybody's 24/7, 100% all week. There are days that you do have a day off or you have a little time for yourself, and you're going to appreciate that a little bit more. Oh, I want to relax on my days off. Okay, go for a walk. That's relaxing, right? Go
Mm-hmm.
outside, stand in the sun for a little bit, grab some of that vitamin D that God's offering you. Just do a little bit of this, a little bit. Keep your mind in the movement game, right? Onward, onward, onward. And if you need to sit down, do this. Kind of like put a piece of tinfoil on a cement floor and ground yourself. At least you're getting something done, right? So there's a lot of little things that you can do for the super busy person. And I
Mm-hmm.
know super busy people, and this is what I suggest to them: 10-minute walk around the block, get your head away from your computer, away from your work, or away from your stress. Put your kids in a stroller, jog them. there's take your dog in a stroller, I've seen, and jog him around, whatever you got to do, just kind of move, just keep moving.
If you have that will, there is a way, and it's really reframing our mindset, because there's always excuses or there's always opportunities, and it's which road do you wish to walk? The
Yes,
road paved of excuses or the road paved of opportunities are both there
totally
always.
agree. Totally agree on that. And it's a mindset, and it's a your mind is a muscle, and you have to work it every day. I mean, there's days I don't feel like doing anything, right? And I've done nothing, but that didn't accomplish anything. I still had to do what I didn't do the day before the next day. So it kind of doubled up my work, or it wasted more time than I should have just got up and did something. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously, if you're not feeling good and you're supposed to rest, then yeah, get your rest. But just, picking away at the axe on the wall, you'll break through that wall, and your mind will say, come on, let's do it. You can
Hmm.
sit down in 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. And if we look back on all the things that we didn't do, we'll be just stuck in that loop of regret, where that's the past, that's
Right.
gone. And in the now, you could go for that walk, you could drink that
Yeah.
bottle of water. Like, the
Yeah.
past is the past, like, let that go, move
Yeah.
forward or not.
I mean,
Always a choice.
the last time we talked, we kind of talked about, the same situation. And I suggested, if you drink your water and instead of working on exercise, you're working on your diet, you can really, lose 8 pounds in a week and a half, 2 weeks, just by doing that. Just by
Hmm.
monitoring what you eat and drinking plenty of water, plenty of fluids, you can drop that weight. I mean, you're not going to
Hmm.
get any super strong until you do some type of lifting or some type of vigorous exercise, but at least you're making headway and you can walk away a winner if that's your goal.
Yeah, and it's taking time to celebrate what you are doing rather than what you're not. It's so easy
Yes.
to see what we're not doing. I didn't meditate today, but you're not realizing, oh, I journaled, I
Hmm.
exercised, I went for a
Yeah.
walk, I ate
Right.
like healthy, like a
Right.
whole huge list. Oh, I didn't do this
Right.
one thing, and you're fixated on that. Get your mind right. See the wins. See what you're doing right rather than what you're doing wrong. They're both
Hmm.
there, and it's a
Hmm.
choice. And it's
Right. That's
rewriting that pattern.
that's true. Very true. And I totally agree with you. That's what I do. You got
Yeah.
to take the small wins. I'm going to keep bringing this up. The small wins, the small wins, the small wins. I mean, the Dodgers won the World Series this year in baseball, right? But how many wins did it take them to get there? They just didn't wake up and say, okay, World Series, here we come. They had to continuously battle every day in order to get the overall championship win. It was a
Hmm.
series of 80 wins or 60 wins or whatever it was, but there was failures there. Did they give up? No. They came back the next day and said, okay, let's learn from what we did yesterday, and let's parlay that today, and let's be, super stronger today, and let's take it to the next level. Let's level
Absolutely.
up. Mhm.
Off the field and on,
Yeah.
mentally, physically, and always, they put in the work and take
Yes.
those small steps. So, of all the New Year's resolutions your clients have come to you, what are the most common?
That they want to diet. Okay. They want to lose weight. Every person, 90% of the people want to come in and they want to start off by losing weight. And then I say, well, how much weight do you want to lose? Oh, well, I gained 20 pounds over the holidays. Maybe 30 pounds, maybe 20 pounds. I go, okay. So we start from there, and they think, okay, we're going to hit a workout. We do, but I don't hit them with, bombard them with, I'm going to kill them and they can't walk the next day because they'll never come back. Right. So we start off piece by piece. We start getting the muscles, warmed up, and then we start pumping the blood to the muscles. Right. So we do lighter weights, nothing heavy. I get them used to the exercises that we will do. So I kind of do an overall of the compound exercises that we will do, and the smaller, finer tuning things, I can explain to them on the fly. But the compound exercises, the basics is what I teach them, right? And then when it comes to diet, I tell them, just continue eating what you're eating. They're like, what? I can have fried chicken? I'm all, yeah, but cut it in half. Have half of the fried chicken that you normally would have half the meal that you normally had. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's, Popeye's chicken sandwich, cut it in half, eat half, and then save it for another meal, eat it in another half. This is kind of teaching them portion control. And that's actually cutting their calories in half per meal. And throughout the day, they're actually eating less because they can't finish all that food. We're so tuned to eating everything that's in front of us at one sitting, it's kind of difficult for us to go back for leftovers. We're not in the mood to have leftovers. We're like, let's just get something else. I hate cold pizza, or I hate cold this and cold that, when all you have to do is warm it up and you got another meal, right? I tell them that it's piece by piece. So we've worked out, we've learned a good squat, or we've learned how to dumbbell deadlift. And you know what? Those are the basics. We learned how to kettlebell swing. So when they come back, then I'll start expanding that a little bit. I'll take those 3 exercises and I'll add a couple more in between. So every time they walk out, they're successful. Hey, you know what? You're right. I cut everything in half. I wasn't hungry. And you know what? I had a little left over and I took it to lunch for work today. So there's wins everywhere, but we have to train ourselves to really see things in pieces. When I was training for Mr. Olympia, I didn't say, hey, Mr. Olympia, I'm going to be there. No, every day I knew exactly what I had to do. And I trusted myself that if I continued doing these things every day, that by the time I got there, I would be in the shape that I need to be in. Because we can easily get overwhelmed. And this is what a lot of people do. I need to lose 30 pounds. What's the first thing they do when somebody wants to lose weight? They jump on the scale, right? So they weigh in, and let's say they're at 200 and they want to get down to 170. The next day they weigh themselves, they're at 202. Hey, I did everything you said, I'm weighing 202. Then the next day, they weigh 199. Oh my God, I lost a pound. Well, actually I lost 3 pounds. So I tell them that you can't go day by day on the scale. You can't live your life that way, because depending if you're male or female, your hormones are going to change, and you might have a bloating day, male or female, or, you might be holding water. We don't know that. And the next day it's different. But let's weigh ourselves on Monday. A lot of people love weighing themselves on Friday, right? They'll work out all week, stringent, this and that. I weighed myself today. Today's Friday. I know. And I dropped 5 pounds. That night they'll go out, they'll have dinner, they'll feel lax, they'll feel this. Okay, weigh yourself on Monday. Man, I gained it all back. So you're not really making any headway. Let's weigh ourselves on Monday. So you have to be a little bit more stringent on the weekends and take care of yourself. This is all up to you guys. It's not up to the coaches. It's not up to you. It's not up to me. It's up to the people. I can't be there to cook for them. I can't be there to do the reps for them. I could tell them how to, but I can't lift the weight for them. People have to take onus and own it. They have to love what they do. You just can't go into a job and hate it and expect to be successful. I've never met anybody that's been a successful person, that's a name brand at somebody's house, that hated what they do. Yeah, I hate lifting weights. Aubrey Marcus, dude, I hate helping people. This sucks, No, you don't. You love what you do because it becomes a passion. And once it becomes a passion, it's something that you take to the next level. And the person and people, they feed off of that. That's me. I have passion for this. And when somebody talks to me, they're like, damn, man, you make it sound so easy. I'm like, it is, man. Let's do this, and I get them all excited and, push them and, hey, let's do it. They fail, all right, you failed. So what are you going to do today? That was yesterday. Like we talked about. That's the past. What are you going to do today? How are you going to fix this? Drink some more water. Start from the beginning. Tomorrow, if you continued on the right path, tomorrow we add more stuff. But let's keep the basics and let's learn them, and come back every day with a win.
Small wins add up into big wins.
Yep.
So that's the number one thing that you have people come to you with New Year's resolutions, is to lose weight. Yes. Second would be to put on muscle, I believe.
Yes.
So talk to, and then we didn't get much into that last episode. is about
Yeah.
your strength and condition routine yourself. So let's talk
Right.
about your strength and condition routine and how you'd advise someone to hit that goal of putting on muscle, building strength, if that is their goal for the new year or the new day.
Yeah. Okay. This is a fun topic because, everybody wants to be big and everybody wants to be strong and, and they want to, accomplish things. And, some people come in and they don't have a lot of muscle and they want to grow. Okay. So let's go back to real quick to the diet. There's certain things that you have to eat in a day in order to put on muscle. We can't be in, a starvation and not eat because you've taken some type of 48-hour fast and expect to grow. That doesn't way it works. Let's eat on a regular basis. And then when we get into the gym, we're going to parlay off of that. So when people get into the gym and they're like, okay, what are we going to do? I'm like, okay, this is how we're going to work it out. We're going to do 3 sets in a superset. Okay. Superset will be 4 different exercises. You're going to do those 4 exercises 3 times, and that's your superset. So you start off with a warm-up set, right? So that would be something that maybe is about 60% of your one max rep, or a medium weight. Okay. Then we go into the second set. And the second set is more of, let's get the blood flow to those muscles. Okay. So that would be a heavier weight. Okay. So that would be about 70% of your one rep max, or, a heavy weight. And then on the third set, we're going with a super heavy set, right? So if we look at it in reps, the first set being the warm up is, 12, 15 reps. The second set being the heavier set, we make it to 8 to 10. Then the third set being the heaviest set, which is you have your warm up, you have the blood in the muscles with the second set, and the third set is where you're going to expand the muscle. This is where we take care. Okay. So that third set, we're going to go with 85% of your one max rep, where you can only bang out 6 and you're struggling at 6. So people ask me, so how do you know what is your 60, 70, 80%? Well, when you get to your 70% and you're hitting those 10 reps, you should be pretty much at failure at 7 or 8. Okay. And on that 9th and 10th rep, you are really struggling with good form to complete that set. Okay. On the super heavy set, every time you lift that weight, you're thinking twice about, do I need to rest for a second to pick it up again? Not a huge rest, but it's like 1 rep, drop it, pick it up, 1 rep, drop it, pick it up, 1 rep for 6 times. And on that 6th set, you're like spent, you're done. Like, dude, I cannot do another rep. And you need to sit down and you need to relax. Like, you need to breathe it out. Doing it this way, I have a bunch of different combinations of how I present this to people, depending on where they're at. I always go with combinations, and it kind of sucks to them, but it's kind of cool in a way. I say reps to failure plus 2. So here we are with that medium heavyweight set. It's a 10 rep set. You're failing at 7 or 8, but you give it that last go for the last 2. Reps to failure plus 2. That's exactly how I do it every set. And every set is a perfect rep every time. So I will take the first rep, which is usually your best rep, and I will copy that and do that same 1 rep 10 times. 1, reset, 1, reset, 1, reset, up to the 10th rep. Okay. So you're not doing 10 reps banging it out. You're doing 1 rep 10 times every time. It's not about the weight that you put on the bar. It's about what muscles you're able to contract with the best form possible. We can be real sloppy with heavy weight. Okay. And we could throw it around and look around and say, dude, shit, I just lifted, 500 pounds. Yeah, but you did it sloppy and you really weren't lifting it. You were kind of throwing it because you used your entire body to get into it versus dropping it down. And now you're really concentrating on that rep, taking your time to do it right. And now you got more out of it because it took your entire body just to stay stiff and pump out that weight. So overall, by the end of these workouts, you're pumped. I mean, you are literally pumped. And you keep that pump because you've taken the time and you let that blood flow in. I mean, you could do blood restriction. You could do all these different things to keep that blood in the muscle, the blood restriction bands and all that. Same principle. You want to make sure that every rep you do is perfect form. And the better you get
Mm-hmm.
at it, the better you get at it, the more weight you're able to lift and the more you get out of it.
Yeah, I hear you. I just want you to clarify. So, reps to failure +2. So, how do you do +2 once you've failed?
You take a deep breath and you hit one and you hit another one. So if you get to that 10th rep, right? Take a deep breath, bang out another one, boom, let it go real slow. And you're like, oh man, and that take a deep breath again, and you bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, and you're almost there, and you push it over if you're gonna do a curl, and you let it drop, and you try to lift it again, and you can't. You're like, dude, I can't do another one. Give me a chance to rest. That's reps to failure +2. You'll know. I mean, even with pull-ups, you're struggling on that last one, and you can barely get your chin over the bar. All right, wait a couple seconds and hit two more. It's like you got 40% more. You can do
Mm-hmm.
another couple of reps. Our mind tells us we can't because we're in so much pain. But you know what? You take a deep breath, you're able to crank out two more. How is that? Because we still have a little bit left in us. And that's where we want
Yeah.
to go. We want to walk away a champion. This is walking away a champion because you actually took it to where you didn't think you could take it. And here you are. You did it. You
Mm-hmm.
walked away like
And
shit. What?
yeah, absolutely. And you stressed, and I just want to make sure the listener hears this is with correct form. So
Yes.
if you're almost at your chin is almost there, it's not jerk your body. It's
Right.
okay. Like
Right.
take a
No
break, take a breath,
fishtails.
and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, do it properly, and that's holding
Yeah.
ourselves accountable.
Because if you were in a competition, that rep wouldn't have counted. Like if you're at CrossFit, they'd say, dude, that didn't count. You got to go back and do it again. So give yourself that
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. Go back down, think about it, grunt your teeth or whatever, take that deep breath and boom, bang it out. And then, your mind says, dude, I did it. I did another one. And that's where you kind of use that whole uh, mental mind to muscle, because now you're telling your mind what to do. Your body's saying, dude, I got one more, when your mind's saying, I can't do another one. You're in control. You're not letting your mind control you. You are willing what you want to be done. And that's
Mm-hmm.
really powerful, because our bodies will give up way before our body. I mean, our mind will give up way before our bodies. I could get
Mm-hmm.
up and say, oh man, I don't feel like running that mile, but I could. But my mind's telling me, dude, just go back and sit down. You don't need to run that mile, or you don't need to take it that fast. And you could give it your all. You just
Mm-hmm.
don't want to.
Yes. So with people with size and strength goals,
Mhm.
especially in this year, 2021, where gyms are closed in a lot of places, how can you build strength and size with not having those heavy weights to lift?
Yeah, there's a few approaches that you can kind of take. And this is about building, maybe not building a huge, size, because you can't get all that weight in, but you can focus on all the muscle groups, getting them stronger, right? Kind of like, you see these dudes in prison. They're like, dude, how the hell did that guy get so big? He's just been in
Mm-hmm.
his cell for 10 hours a day. He just has nothing. They don't even allow weights anymore and all this, because they get down and they do the calisthenics. There's a convict conditioning book and workout out there, and that teaches you those jail style workouts where they're just taking anything they can get and using it. I've seen where they have like two big like ragu pasta cans, like the 5-pound cans that they have at the restaurants.
Mhm.
And they're doing, like pushes off of that, and they're doing, squats off of that, and they're doing a bunch of different things to make their entire core strong, and then their entire body to work and function as one to get all these things together. uh I also tell people, like, get yourself a home gym. It doesn't have to be spectacular. I have, a squat, quarter squat rack with a bar that goes across for pull-ups, and I have like 300 pounds of weight, okay, that I've been able to buy over a period of this last year because I really needed to up my game, right? And it wasn't that expensive, but now I'm in control. Now I can actually hit some weights, and I can do some growing, and I can get some of this stress out. Before, I had to do a bunch of body weight stuff. I'd have to go outside. I'd have to run as fast as I can. I'd see a tree with a branch. I'd have to try to do as many pull-ups as I can. I was actually doing the Murph just with whatever I could find, right? Just to keep my mind going, like, dude, you can accomplish this. 400 meters down was the street corner. There was a street light that I can hang off of when I was doing pull-ups off of that. Then I was running back and I was doing air squats. So there's a bunch of different things you can do to tune your body to become stronger. It's not going to last forever, but we got to keep moving.
Mhm. Another thing that I've learned from my time at Onnit was to make a lightweight feel heavy. And I think that's
Mhm.
another thing that we could do with limited equipment is to
Yes,
make that 25-pound kettlebell feel like
right.
a 45-pound kettlebell by moving slow and
Yes,
mindful and
right.
breathing.
Yes, like slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right? And perfect form, right? Taking time to make sure that you're hitting all the angles, you're hitting hand placement, you're actually watching yourself grow versus I'm going to do 10 reps as fast as I can. And anybody can throw 25 pounds as fast as they can because now they got motion with them. But like we were talking about, reset every time. Get that kettlebell, reset, press it, bring it back down, press it, bring it back down. So every rep is number one. There's only one rep you're doing, and that's going to be duplicated 10, 12, 15 times. That's where you come up with that.
Hmm. And this whole process, taking the ego out of it, like we talked about last time. No one is
Yes,
counting your reps
right.
except for you.
Dude, nobody gives a shit. You may
Yeah.
think that all the chicks are looking at you, and all the dudes like, dude, he's a sissy, but nobody cares. They're in there for their own selves. Like, I don't have time to look at this guy do this stuff. I'm here for myself. I got an hour and I get the heck out of here. Nobody cares.
Hmm.
Like David Goggins, I don't give a shit. You know, do it. I heard a David Goggins just the other day, and he was talking about people that were complaining that they didn't have a gym to go to, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. Do a push up, do something, move. And that's kind of the whole process. Just keep moving, make progress somehow, some way with what you got. Rocky Four, right? He's training in Russia. And what did he have? Rocks, a donkey, and a cart. You know what I mean? It's like, and he, kicked Drago's ass with that because he went old school, right? Gladiator.
Hmm. And I was going to follow up with what we were just talking about what differentiates a motivated person versus a client that is not motivated. But I think you already answered that. And I feel like the motivated individual is doing something that they love.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
The unmotivated person will find an excuse, or they will find a reason not to do something, and they will complain. What I do in that case is I crawl into their head. Like, I'm in there and I'm telling them, you can do more. You can look at yourself, man. Look at that. It's like awesome. Look at what you're able to do. Really talk them up. That way that doubt that they have, they no longer have as much of it. And then they start seeing by the end of the training or by the end of the set, like, yeah, high five. Yeah, I freaking did that, because they're sweating. You're saying, you know what? Look at what you just accomplished. I mean, you can take it as far as you want, but I try to crawl into people's heads and just kind of push them. This is where I get into their ego, because their ego is so low that they have the opposite ego. It's like, I suck. No, you don't. You're here. I don't want to waste your money. I don't want you to waste my time. It's either let's get down and I will tell you exactly what to do, and we will come back out of this thing successful, and then you'll want to come back for more. And that's usually what happens, you know, because I'm really vocal and verbal with people when I train with them. I'm like not yelling at them, but I'm telling them exactly what they're doing right at the time, and telling them, coaching them. I'm a coach. I'm not a trainer. I'm a coach. A coach does that. Coach is on the field with the players, right? And I'm there. A trainer waits on the sidelines, waits for the players to come to him. I go to the people and I coach them. I'm out there. Okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? Get it in your head. Let's do this. Let's do that. All right, go, boom, and then execute it.
Mm-hmm. And I think we could also apply that strategy to ourselves. For those that don't have coaches there saying, this is what you're doing right, this is what you're doing good, we could take time to self-reflect and just really take a moment to realize how far we've come, even just showing up to the gym, even showing up on that mat. That is a positive.
Right,
We can
right,
celebrate and use that to build the momentum.
right.
So we talked about the New Year's goals of losing weight, putting on size, putting on
Mm-hmm,
strength.
mm-hmm.
Is there any other common goals that you hear from your clients? I think those are the two big ones.
Those are pretty much the two big ones that I face.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that come to me that are ill, right? They'll have some type of illness, and it's kind of based off of both of those, right? I've had people come to me that are diabetic and they're in a wheelchair and they really can't move a lot, but you know what? I'm there with them and I try to make do with what we can. You know, maybe they'll hit light weights or maybe they'll get on a machine, you know, or maybe I just get them to stand and sit and stand and sit, something that's movement. But yeah, pretty much the New Year's resolution is lose weight, and I'm going to be a bigger, stronger me coming this year. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, it just depends, you know, because I have people that are focused on, you know, the vanity side of things where they want to drop weight, and then I have people who are focused on the vanity side of things where they're going to be competing. So there we have two different avenues that I have to take with these people.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a moment to celebrate a success story of one of your past clients, or maybe someone that you're still working with now. Let's hear a success story of a transformation.
Okay. Um, Here's a good one. I just kind of mentioned this the other day in Facebook. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I have a client named Jerry, right? Jerry just turned 66, and his body fat and his muscular definition are that of like a 40-year-old. Okay. I've been working with him for over 10 years. And when Jerry first came to me, he was pretty much out of shape, you know, overweight, was just kind of you know, football Sundays, drinking beer and just enjoying himself, right? But it got to a point where it was affecting his life, right? Where he couldn't do what he used to be able to do. And one of those things was kind of like, I don't feel like having sex, or, you know, just stuff like that that happens to people that get older, right? And that was an important thing to him. It's an important thing to me, right? So he said, what can you do to me? I'm 56 years old and I'm here. I will do whatever you say. So I took him from point A to point Z, and he went to the doctor just like a week ago, and he got all his tests done, right? And everything came back excellent. I mean, they gave him a colonoscopy. I mean, they went head to toe and, you know, every little nook and cranny, and they tried to figure out if there was anything wrong with him because he needed the blood work. And the doctor was shocked that one, he wasn't on any medication, okay, and two, that his BMI was at like 17, okay, and that his heart was strong. He didn't have the high blood pressure. The cholesterol was perfect. And he kind of asked, like, what are you doing? Because I'd like to do it myself. So I might have a potential client that's a doctor because of this, right? But the whole thing is he's 66 years old and he's going to be retiring next year. So usually when people reach that age, they're at a fork in the road of, I feel like crap, or they're going to move over further to feeling like crap, become ill, and then by the time they're 78, you know, have major problems. 75, 78, have major problems. Jerry, on the other hand, he has the ability to run, jump, and play like the young guys. And he was just really happy about that because he said, I never would have thought at 66 that I could run, a couple of miles. I can do 25 pull-ups. I can do 50 push-ups. I can lift this weight. I can swing kettlebells without any injuries and all that. And, it's just something that I really worked on him with, because whatever he does, I do too. I don't work out with him, but I'm not going to put anybody through a ringer that I haven't done myself. That's just me. I am not going to look something up and say, okay, dude, try this. It looks cool. No, I'm going to do it myself to make sure it works. That's the whole thing. I put myself through the test. So all the people that come to me, they know that I've been there, done that, and they see the experience that I have as I talk to them. So that's probably one of my better success stories in the last couple of months. I've had,
Mm-hmm.
significant weight loss and all that, but nobody that's been in their mid 60s that can kind of walk away and say, dude, I'll beat you in an arm wrestling match right now. Right.
Yeah. And if we get into Jerry's mind, what was it and what is it that motivates him?
I literally crawled in there and I toughened him up. I mean, he had a lot of excuses, and I call them excuses, but he had a lot of reasons why he didn't want to do things. I'm too old, and it hurts. Man, this, man, that. And I just looked at him. I said, dude, we're going to do this, and I don't care what you say. We're going to do it safely. And it may take a week for us to accomplish this, but you know what? We're going to accomplish this. So I took all the small wins, like we were talking about, and I made them into the big win. Okay. And the big win is where he's at today. And it's funny because we were just talking about that earlier. And he said, man, he goes, I couldn't have done this without you. And he's doing pull-ups on the bar like nothing, and weighted pull-ups. And we're kind of going over what he should be doing and this and that. And he just looks at me, I just want to thank you because you literally saved my life. His brothers or his family have been known to have heart disease. His brother died a couple of years ago of a heart attack, who was younger than Jerry. So there's a lot of illness and sickness in his family that he thought he was just going to fall prey to. And I literally told him, we're not going to go that route. You were going to be this, you were going to be that. And crawling into his head every day, you have a mentor there telling you that, nope, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You did it. You see, it really pushes people to the next level,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually.
How could someone take it to the next level without a coach? Because a coach may not be viable for everyone, whether that be monetary, location, et cetera, et cetera. How could someone take it to the next level without a coach like yourself getting in their head?
How I did it, okay, in the beginning, I didn't have a coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kind of talked about that the last time, where it was
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Internet didn't exist. I couldn't look things up. It was just, I was on my own. You have to talk to yourself in a positive way every day. You have to love yourself. You have to look at yourself and say, okay, this is who I am right now, but I'm not going to continue being this person. And you strengthen your mind by just continuously thinking positive things. We talked about kind of sitting down and relaxing and meditating. That strengthens your mind, because here you are feeling, beauty, right? When you're meditating, you're not meditating on people you hate. You're meditating on things that you love, things that make you happy, things that bring you joy. And through it all, you realize that what brings you joy is love. It's not about the material things. It's not about what you can achieve. It's about who you become. And the more that you see yourself become this person, the more you want to become this person and help other people and go beyond that. And I think that's what people have to do. They have to take a step back and say, okay, this is what I've become. I don't want to continue this. How can I go the opposite direction? Step by step, baby step by baby step. And then before you know it, the small wins, like I said, I can continue this. The small wins add up to something big when you turn around and you look behind you like, shit, in 6 months, I've done this and I've done that. You can't let people crawl into your head that are negative. You really have to segregate yourself from those who don't see your vision. I'm not talking about being a jerk and not talking to people, but don't give them the opportunity to come up to you and say, dude, You don't look like you lost a lot of weight, or you're getting too skinny. Don't let that happen. Have more passion and compassion for yourself and say, that's my goal. Dude, my goal is to look small. Thank you.
Mhm.
I've achieved it. I'll continue on. See you later. I mean, you have to really take the time to love yourself. That's loving yourself, accepting.
Mhm. So as we move forward into the new year, we talked about at the start of this conversation about some of your goals, including Bone Frog Athletics.
Mhm.
Another one of your goals, something we didn't have an opportunity to talk about on the last episode that I know is something that is meaningful to you, is travel. You and
Mhm.
your wife were planning a big long trip right before COVID hit, and COVID kind of put a stop on that. But I know
Right.
something that's important and that you're wanting to do is to explore this world. Why is travel
Yeah.
so important to you?
It's growth, right? I can go to a different continent and see people for who they are, not from what I'm reading, right? Actually witness and live it, right? It's about experience. I mean, I'm sure that there's some places in the Orient, China, that people are just down to earth. All we see is CCP and they hate and this. I'm sure if you were to go to Mongolia or some of these outer lane that you can actually travel to, you're going to be impressed by, wow, these people live a good life. And you walk away with some type of knowledge. It's all about the experience and the knowledge for me. I mean, traveling to Europe, I've learned that, you know what, they are the old ways. Like America has no tradition compared to Europe. Ours pales in comparison. What's our tradition? 4th of July? I mean, their traditions go for thousands of years, right? So I felt that me having an open mind and being an American, I had to really let go of a lot of these things that I've read. Okay. Like, I think that America sets the pace for entertainment. That's not true. You go to France, they have an entirely different type of way of expressing themselves in entertainment, right? Whether it be the Moulin Rouge or whether it be a play, right? Whether it be a nightclub, it had didn't have America on it. I mean, I dressed like an American and I stood out like a sore thumb. So there was no America sets the pace for everybody. And I think that's what you have to lose. You just have to lose yourself and you have to just say, you know what? Teach me. You know, I'm going to speak your language. I want to enjoy myself. I want to be French for today. Tell me what we can do. Give me something to eat. Give me some of that good life that I came here for. And it's exactly what I want to do. It's still being COVID. Like, you know, I had to continuously put off our trips. But again, this is where my mind is. I got more time to become even a better person. I got more time to learn their language even better. So when I get there, I have the best experience and I'm in such good shape physically. I can walk for miles and not get tired. I
Yeah.
can go without eating, without having to stop because I'm hungry every 20 minutes. No, I can live the life like a European and just maybe even hike to another city. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I want to do. That's what I tell my wife. I said, we need to be able to walk 15, 20 miles and laugh at the end of it and be in that kind of shape. Even though you could take the train everywhere, it's still, there's uphill, downhill, cobblestone streets, uneven pavement, all these different things that are happening. And it hurts your back. You know, if you're not ready, it hurts your knees and everything else. I don't want to be that person. I want to be able to do the Tour de France type of thing and, you know, continue to have a lot of vigorous, you know, in me, vigor in me and have a good time that night. So this is
Hmm.
kind of where we're working. That's what I pulled her off to the side. I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to train for this and train for that. We're going to do a lot of walking. We're going to get used to walking. We're going to put a weighted vest on because we're going to be carrying backpacks. And we're going to learn how to walk uphill with a backpack for, you know, 5, 6 miles if we can. You know, just do
Hmm.
that. Just to have some fun and get outside. That's just where
Yeah.
my mind is. Try to better
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. See those opportunities because they're all
Yeah.
always there.
Yeah.
Um, So as we wind down this conversation, I really value your time. We'll get into one last segment here, all about self-care. And we
Mhm.
talked about the importance of treating each new day as a new opportunity. And a new day starts with how we unwind our current day. So let's
Mhm.
get into your unwind routine. What is important to you in an unwind routine, Shawn?
Uh, Cooking is something that I use to unwind, right? And I'm not trying to say that I'm this, five-star chef. I keep things simple, but I know that when I'm cooking something, I'm concentrating on this and the rest of the world doesn't matter. I'm in the moment, okay? So that's how I want unwind. I want to be in the moment for every sense that I get. Smell, taste, feel, emotion. It's all there and I'm present at the moment. Then when I'm cooking, it probably expands on that even more. I love soups. I'll drink a nice warm soup, or I'll have a cup of tea, right, just to kind of relax myself. Um, and sometimes I'll take some cannabis, and I won't smoke cannabis because it hurts my lungs, but I'll chew it. I don't. I like edibles, but I don't trust them because I don't know what they're putting in it. Kind of, is it candy, right? Do I need to eat half? No, I will take a little bit of the bud and I'll just chew on it. It tastes like rosemary, or I'll add it, to a salad, right? Just a little bit, not a lot, just enough to like microdose and just feel relaxed. And once I get to that relaxed state, that's when my mind starts unwinding and I'm just able to get a more grasp of what my next day is going to be like. So I'm like you said, I'm setting myself up for the next day. If I'm in an upset mood, I'm going to wake up kind of stressed. I don't want to do that. I want to tally the day, go over my list and say, you know what, everything's pretty much been checked off. All right, I can relax. I'm done. Sometimes I'll read a book late at night, but it's just mostly just kind of hanging with my crew, my kids, and my wife, and just talking. We do a lot of talking, and sometimes it's for an evening walk where we get some good smells in, some pine trees or flowers, or just the atmosphere. You get to breathe it in. You're like, okay, it's fresh air. You feel better. That's how I kind of start that. My unwinding is that way. I mean, I could go out and buy blue blockers and I can go out and do all these different things, but like you said, some people don't have that type of money, and I'd rather put my money in something else than that currently. And it just really works out for me, and it kind of bonds my family together. My
Mhm.
wife and I have a real good relationship because of that. We spend time with each other. She tells me her woes, and I try to help her, and I tell her what my thoughts are, and she, gives me her advice or whatever. But we're a team, and that's just kind of helps that out that much more. There's no guesswork. It's just like we're a team.
Mhm.
Um, and then, even in the morning, the first thing I do is I'll drink like at 3, 4 in the morning. I'll get up and just drink one of these, just throw it back, right? And a couple of hours later, um, I will get up and start my day, and I'll make a coffee or I'll make a tea. I drink a lot of ginseng tea, and that gets me going. And I'll start stretching, do a little meditating, right? Just kind of sit around and think about things and kind of forecast the positive what I can do today. Try not to listen to any news. Try to stay away from anything negative. I might pop off and look at my Facebook and answer some questions or just kind of interlude with a couple people. Then I'm there, dude. I'm starting my lifting, and freaking first thing I do is I go into my garage because I have that little setup. Boom, I'm banging out like 50 pull-ups. I'm doing like deadlifts. I'll do 50 deadlifts, lightweight, just so I can get that blood flowing. And I'll do air squats. I'll do a bunch of everything just to kind of get my blood going. And then I'll start training with my people. And then I'll do my own training. And I'll come home and train my son. So I'm pretty active all day. I mean, I had to stop myself from training so much because I like to train with everybody too. Like, give me those weights, just do it together, you know? But over time, it kind of gets to you're like, okay, I got 2 more clients and I've already hit 3 workouts today. I better slow it back, you know? So I got to give them my 100% and not be so tired. So, but I'll take supplements before bed. And what I usually do before bed, I kind of have this written out. Okay. So throughout the day, I try to drink the 100 ounces minimum because that's half my body weight, right? So that's 100 ounces, I weigh 200 pounds, but I will squeeze 1 ounce of lemon into that gallon of water. Okay. And I'll keep pouring it into this. I take one of these, I drink it, and then I just go to my gallon jug and I continuously refill this. I'm only using 1 bottle a day, but 6 times, 7 times sometimes. I will take 100 milligrams of B1. Okay. I will take 150 milligrams spread out throughout the day of vitamin B6. Okay. So that would be like, they come in 25 to 50 milligrams, and I'll just kind of parse it out throughout the day. Okay. I will take 1,500 milligrams of time released vitamin C AM, and then another 1,500 PM. So I'm getting 3,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C. I'll take 5,000 units of D3 plus K, okay? And that's throughout the day. I'll get 500 unit pills, and I'll just kind of sparse those out. And I'll take Alaskan fish oil, 5,000 milligrams of that a day, 2,500 in the morning, and then 25 at night, evening, and then before I go to bed, I kind of sparse that out, but with food, okay? I'll take 100 milligrams of zinc, and I will take 1 baby aspirin, and that's before I go to bed. And see what happens with the baby aspirin is that since I'm older, and this is automatically going to happen to everybody, our blood thickens. I think we talked about this a little bit the last time. Well, as we age, our blood thickens. And if we don't continuously go and give and donate blood, our blood's not recirculating, regenerating. So we're kind of using old oil, if you kind of look at it in a car sense, right? We haven't got that oil change. So I'll use baby aspirin, and I'll just take 80 milligrams, and that thins out my blood at night. Okay. Your blood becomes thicker at night because you're not constantly drinking water to keep yourself hydrated. So that's where you not kind of notice that you kind of have, you know, a faster beating heart, or you become really warm, right? So you want to take that at night. That's kind of my thing. And you know, I'll take other things that I'll make into teas, like lion's mane, chaga, cordyceps. I drink a lot of homemade bone broth, right? I'll make it myself, or I'll go and I'll buy some Bonafide, which is kind of a gel, right? I'll drink that. I'll make teas out of that. I'll make soups out of that. So I really try to eat 6, 7 times a day. You know, there's other times that I don't eat as much, but those are the days that I don't really do a lot of working out, so I don't need a lot of calories, right? I don't spend a lot of calories. So I don't need to eat a lot of calories. But in order for me to keep my body in shape, and that's joints and everything else, I really have to supplement. I mean, our food, even though I try to buy the best of the best, it's still not enough. And you got to make sure that the supplements that you do get are a better quality. And a better quality would be if they're oil-based vitamins, like a vitamin D3 with a K, that the oil that they use isn't soy or some type of seed oil or vegetable oil, because they'll throw that stuff in there. And I've seen it. You go to like these stores and you look at Nature's Made, and they got vitamin D, and it's $10 and you get 600 tablets. You're like, yeah, I can have this for the rest of the year. But you look at the oil, it's soybean oil. And you know, that kind of throws you off. Like, dude, I don't eat soy because of that, but yet I'm going to put, you know, 2 teaspoons of soybean oil in my body a day because I'm going to take this vitamin D. It kind of counteracts each other. So,
Yeah.
you know, I pay attention to that. I mean, sunflower oil is okay, but it's how these things are processed. Okay. If they're cold processed and it's virgin oil and it's not, you know, heat treated and use detergents to take everything out of it, you can pretty much use like a sunflower oil. That's the better oil, but soy and soybean and soy lecithin and all these other things, it's just, we're going to be taking a lot of, we're going to be taking a lot of these things over time. And that's how it adds up. That's how you don't get a heart attack from day one. You get blockage, and that blockage starts affecting the heart, and that in turn becomes a heart attack over time. So we got to be careful with that.
Those small losses become a big loss.
Yes. There we
right?
go. Right.
Yeah.
Good
So to close, do you have any last parting words for us as we enter a new year, a new day, a new opportunity? Is anything that we missed out that you'd like to leave us on?
I do have something written out, because I really wanted to focus, and I know that the New Year's resolution is the most important day of the year, right? Because this is the day the change happens. So we kind of went over some of this stuff already, but I'm going to reiterate some of the stuff that I'm going to read off to you, and I'm hoping that this helps people. Okay, so there's a lot of people out there that are trying to jump on your shoulders and try to piggyback on your lethargic nature. Okay, there's also a lot of products out there that are claiming, hey, if you use our stuff, you get there faster or you'll be stronger. That right there relaxes the mind, and you hand the power over to somebody else, not you. You're not making the decision anymore, right? That's failure waiting to be had. Okay, so we say, well, give me the stuff, give me the magic pill. I don't have to work for it. I'm just going to go in the gym and automatically lose weight. I can eat this, or I'm going to just be strong just because. And you injure yourself because you haven't earned the strength, right? You haven't earned the joint strength, the tendon strength. It's just boom, pull, and you're like, oh my God, I woke up so sore. I think I broke my shoulder, right? And then when I walk into a supplement store and I go to the shelves, I don't even understand half of the stuff for sale. And I really study things. I'm there, and all these labels claiming you need this and you need that, diet this way and take these at this time and so on. It kills me to no end, because it's confusing, right? I mean, it's overwhelming, all trying to lead you astray of your actual purpose. And someone you don't even know gives you advice as to what you need. So you'll walk out of there spending hundreds. Who's winning there? The kid salesman at the supplement store, or you walked in there, hey, you know what? I want a little bit more power, or I want to wake up a little bit more. And they're like, dude, you need this, you need that. Oh, you need this NOS, you need all these different things, right? And you walk out with the shitload of stuff, and you're like, I don't even know how to take it. I don't even know if any of this is working. He's counting his money at the register, like, yeah, cha-ching, right? And okay, so here's the thing. The process you go through life, you start to find out what you really want. And out there's some tools, a lot of BS, and then there's some basic keys to unlock your potential. And that's not a shortcut here in your head, okay? But it's your responsibility to really have an open mind, give yourself the opportunity to self-absorb it all, and really give it a valid effort, an honest try to see if it all will work. And if it works, keep it. And if it doesn't, push it away. Be your own scientist. Don't believe everything face value. Don't walk up to a product and it says this and that. Test it, Don't dive into it and expect these changes to happen overnight, because they don't, okay? All right. So, and if it works, keep it. This is your own potential I'm speaking of, not the magic pill or potion, as I just said. That's what is in your own potential I'm speaking of. That's what life's about, the trial and error of you really taking in the information, applying it. But don't listen to me. Don't say what I'm saying is the truth, because I'm telling you how it works for me. And someone else will say it how it works for them. What matters is how it works for you. This is self. You have to do it. You and you and you alone, okay? So what I've done is take a little piece of each and everything I've tried myself. I didn't question it. I didn't judge it. I actually lived it. And through that, you find the truth. I'm mainly referring to training methods and diets. It's the combination of book smarts, what you read, study, and everything else, and then what you've applied. Okay, that's me. I've self-tested shit for 20 years, right? And now I'm able to speak to you and speak to everybody else about, hey, try this, try it. I don't say you got to do this. Try it. Tell me what you think, right? That's called street smarts. And when those things collide, there's the ultimate truth, individual to you. This is your success. You've built this. You can walk away the winner, not me and say, he did everything for me. No, I did it. Okay. Um, there is no quick fix for a long-term situation, and there is no universal path for individual success. That's your responsibility to really want it. Then you go through the trial and error and you unlock your keys to individual success, because the gym itself is never the means to an end. It's a means to a certain destination end. Whatever you want out of the gym, you will get out of it. Okay. I've used the gym for different reasons in my day and today. I played sports, Muay Thai, MMA, bodybuilding, the Navy SEAL Challenge, Budge training, UDT. I'd go to the gym to become a better, stronger, competitive athlete. And then MMA had a different way of using the gyms, just like the Navy SEALs Challenge or bodybuilding. All were good for that particular training model and at the end state of where I wanted my sport to be developed. Okay. All my sports needed different training, as I said, but I was open-minded enough to accept what I needed to do. And when I entered the gym, I figured out how to unpack those abilities to get from point A to point B. And that itself made my time more successful. Not everything else that was being fed to me through social media, YouTube, bro science. So I started at point A, then I worked my ass off to end at point B. I don't want to step back to point A. I'm now B. I'm there. And it was fun getting there. You have to love what you did to get to point B. It was hard, but again, it was fun. It was never work. It became my passion and my enjoyment. Now I use everything I've learned and allow it to me to, and now it, me in the now for more complete me. Okay. You see how that works? I'm not a slave to one process. That's truly the meaning of unconventional. I'm everything. Okay. Or Bruce Lee's Be Like Water. Okay. I'm known as the unconventional bodybuilder because of that. Okay. I've never met anybody who's successful in life who hates what they do, right? I embrace the suck. And I tell that to people. If you don't enjoy your transformation and workouts, then you have tunnel vision, and that's set up for failure. With peripheral vision, you have so much growth to enjoy and experience. That right there sets the mind up for ecstasy, the pleasure of conquering oneself and morphing into a new you. It's humbling to learn from people for me. You have to really let go of your ways, ego, and listen, and sometimes do uncomfortable stuff, but you're learning and taking that with you. I'm always the student. And the process right there is what life is. I love the gym because it's parallel to life. Nobody can give it to you or take it away. It's your responsibility to take advantage of the potential growth and make it happen. So you go into the gym and say, hey, I want to be better. I want to be stronger. I mean, isn't that a wonderful option in life to be able to do that? There's a lot of people who don't have that option. They don't have the ability to get out and try to improve their life. I mean, hey, they may be at the end of their life and they ran out of time, but you have time to do this. You're healthy enough to do this. The fact that you aspire to do it, that is such a blessing itself in today's COVID mess, okay? But we can complicate it too much. Out there, the medias, the ads, the bullshit salesmen are feeding you with all these numbers and stuff. Like you got to do this protocol to eat this way, and you can't eat that, and you got to sacrifice this and that. My friends, it cannot be that way. You will totally burn yourself out. give up, throw in the towel, and become that point A again. You have to enjoy what you're doing. It's awesome responsibility, but you must manifest it in your heart and in your mind. Here's an example of my manifestation. Going to the gym isn't a workout. It's the ability to come in and stand as a certain individual, but make yourself better within that time period as you leave. You just became better at that moment. And during that time, you start to knock down those stalling blocks and hone in on your character, your discipline, your integrity, your honor, your sacrifice, your due diligence, that sweat equity, and you see it through every single day. It's a marathon of life. No fast fix, no long-term situation. That's what it's all about. The end.
Wow, thank you so much. Ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, the master of transformation, Shawn
Thank you.
Powers, sharing some wisdom, dropping some gold. They can
Yes.
find you on Facebook. It's Shawn Powers. You have 5,000 friends on there. That's how you best connect with people. Send you a message to get on that friends list.
Send me a message. Go to Bone Frog Athletics, and ask to be sign in. It's an open forum. So I just created the group. I have a page, and I'll be posting, what I'm going to be doing, in the coming weeks, and taking out all those guys and saying, dude, your stuff kicks ass. It did exactly what it says it was going to do, and I'm the living proof. I'm going to be your testimony. So I want a bunch of people to do this, because we're only going to get healthier that way, and have a better life.
Yep, I'll see you in there, and
Okay.
let's bring our fists together.
Yeah.
The new year.
Wait.
Boom.
There we go. There we go. All right. Cool.
We could all, like the story you taught me back in January, a couple of years back in Austin. We could all join the winner's table. We could all join the winner's circle. Yeah. It starts with a choice, and that choice is something that we get to make again and again and again. In the now, there are no limits but those that we place on ourselves.
Let's flip the script. Let's change.
Absolutely. Let's flip the script. Here is to a healthy, prosperous, and a joyful new year to you, Shawn, and to us all.
Yep. Thank you. And same to you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.